Have you ever felt that being alone is not a weakness, but an opportunity to discover your true power? On the official Sigma Male channel, we explore those truths that few dare to admit. Today, we're going to talk about something controversial. Why does a Sigma male who spends time alone become so dangerous? We're not talking about physical danger, but rather the silent kind of power that can change lives and unsettle those around him. That kind of presence that doesn't need noise to be felt. Get ready to dive into a unique analysis where we'll explore the reasons behind this inner strength. You'll learn how solitude, focus, and knowledge accumulation can transform you into the strongest and most authentic version of yourself. Are you ready to discover why the Sigma who chooses to be alone can be so powerful? Stay until the end, because this content might completely change your perspective. Inner freedom. A Sigma male finds his greatest strength in solitude, a space where he can be authentic without the influence of external expectations. While the rest of society focuses on pleasing and being accepted, the Sigma chooses the less traveled path: independence. For him, solitude is not a punishment, but a refuge. For example, it's common to see him enjoying a walk in the park or reading a book in a cafe without worrying about others' opinions. It's in these moments that he finds the freedom to truly be himself. This search for inner freedom allows the Sigma to build a unique connection with himself. Far from the noise and distractions, he explores his thoughts and emotions with a clarity that few achieve. A practical exercise anyone can do to emulate this is to dedicate 15 minutes daily to silent reflection, away from phones or social media. This small habit can reveal how much we rely on external stimuli and how much we need to reconnect with ourselves. The result of this constant practice is unshakable mental strength. By not depending on external validation, the Sigma develops a confidence that impresses and unsettles those around him. This authenticity not only allows him to make wiser decisions, but also makes him someone hard to influence. For a Sigma, inner freedom is not just an ideal. It's the foundation upon which he builds his life. Mental depth. The mind of a Sigma male is like an ocean, calm on the surface but unfathomable in its depth. While many are content with shallow thoughts and quick responses, the Sigma spends time exploring the more complex layers of his ideas and emotions. This enables him to approach life with a unique perspective, seeing solutions where others only see problems. For instance, rather than reacting impulsively to a challenge, the Sigma prefers to analyze it from different angles, addressing the root cause instead of just the symptom. This approach allows him to build a rich and fascinating inner world filled with knowledge and reflections that few can comprehend. A key habit he often practices is reading books that expand his perspective, such as philosophical classics or literature that challenges his thinking. If someone wants to replicate this mental depth, they could start with works like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius or Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Texts that not only inspire, but also invite introspection. The Sigma's mental depth not only strengthens him, but also makes him magnetic. People who interact with him are drawn to his ability to see the world differently. However, this same trait can be intimidating, as his way of thinking challenges norms and pushes others to question their own beliefs. It is within this complex mind that the Sigma finds his true advantage. Selective presence. A Sigma male is not available to everyone all the time, and that makes him unique. His presence is not constant, but when he decides to be present, his impact is undeniable. It's not about playing games with others' attention, but about managing his time and energy strategically. While many exhaust themselves trying to be the center of attention, the Sigma carefully chooses when and with whom to share his space. For example, he might be the quietest person in a meeting, but when he speaks, his message resonates with clarity and strength that cannot be ignored. This ability to be selective with his presence reflects his personal mastery. He understands that his time and energy are valuable resources that shouldn't be wasted. Anyone who wants to adopt this skill can start by learning to say no without feeling guilty. This might mean declining commitments that don't add value or limiting access to people who only drain energy. This small adjustment in daily life can make a significant difference in how one perceives and protects their mental peace. The Sigma's selective presence not only allows him to maintain his balance, but also cultivates an aura of mystery and respect. Those around him often wonder what makes him so different, and that uncertainty increases his appeal. By appearing only when truly necessary, the Sigma positions himself as someone reliable and decisive, leaving a lasting impression on those who have the opportunity to know him. Absolute focus. A Sigma male has the ability to concentrate intensely and without distractions on what truly matters. This level of focus is his secret weapon for achieving goals that others consider unattainable. While the modern world is full of constant distractions, the Sigma knows how to block out the noise and direct all his energy toward his objectives. For instance, if he decides to start a project, he dedicates uninterrupted time to research, planning, and execution without being influenced by external opinions or the need for approval. This absolute focus is not something achieved overnight. It requires practice and discipline. A practical strategy to develop this skill is to create time blocks dedicated exclusively to one task, setting aside the phone and other interruptions. Additionally, writing down clear goals and reviewing them regularly helps maintain motivation and avoid deviations. For the Sigma, every action counts, and every moment of distraction is a lost opportunity to move forward. What truly sets the Sigma apart is how he uses this focus to overcome obstacles and excel in what he does. While others give up at the first sign of difficulty, he persists, knowing that success is the result of consistency. This intensity may intimidate those who are not used to seeing someone so determined. However, for the Sigma, it's not about competing with others, but about surpassing his own limits and staying true to his goals. Mastery of fear. For a Sigma male, fear is not something that paralyzes him, but a tool he uses to grow. Where others see an obstacle, the Sigma finds an opportunity to learn. This approach doesn't mean he doesn't feel fear, but rather that he faces it with curiosity and courage. For instance, if he finds himself in an uncomfortable situation, like public speaking or making a risky decision, he analyzes what intimidates him and acts instead of avoiding it. This mindset is what makes him resilient and capable of overcoming any challenge. The Sigma understands that fear is a natural human mechanism, but doesn't allow it to rule his life. An effective practice for facing fears is breaking them down into manageable steps. For example, if someone fears failing at a project, they can start by dividing the tasks into small, concrete actions. This approach reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed and allows gradual progress toward the goal. For the Sigma, every fear conquered is not just a victory, but also a way to strengthen his character. This mastery of fear not only makes him stronger, but also earns him admiration from those around him. People see in him someone who doesn't stop in the face of adversity, and that inspires respect and trust. However, the Sigma doesn't seek to impress anyone. His battle against fear is personal and part of his constant evolution. By confronting what others avoid, he moves closer to becoming the best version of himself. Quiet knowledge, accumulation. The Sigma male doesn't feel the need to showcase what he knows, but behind his calm exterior lies a deeply cultivated mind. His learning doesn't depend on traditional systems or external validation. He chooses what to learn and how to do it. While many chase titles or recognition, the Sigma invests his time in acquiring practical skills and knowledge that allow him to handle any situation. For instance, he might study finance to manage his money independently or learn mechanics to solve everyday problems without relying on others. This process of quiet accumulation becomes his greatest advantage. The Sigma adopts habits like daily reading, attentive observation, and self-directed learning to strengthen his intellect. A simple way to incorporate this approach is to select topics of personal interest and dedicate weekly time to explore them, whether through books, online courses, or conversations with experts. This proactive way of learning not only enriches him, but also prepares him for future challenges. What makes the Sigma unique is that he doesn't feel the need to prove his knowledge. He prefers to act and solve problems rather than talk about what he knows. This attitude earns respect and admiration because his actions always back up his wisdom. Those who underestimate him are often surprised by the depth of his intellect, further reinforcing his position as someone worthy of trust and admiration. Now that you've discovered the keys behind the strength of a Sigma male who spends time alone, are you ready to apply these principles in your life? What changes would you make to cultivate that inner freedom, mental depth, and authenticity that define true Sigmas? Reflect on this, because true power doesn't come from what we show the world, but from what we cultivate in silence. If this content inspired you and you believe it can help you move forward on your journey, don't forget to subscribe to Official Sigma Male. Here you'll find practical tools, powerful reflections, and a community that values knowledge and authenticity. Turn on notifications and join us on this journey toward a more focused and fulfilling life. What are you waiting for to join us? Your transformation starts now.